Hey guys, what's going on? It's Link here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got some Dragon's Dogma 2 news. This actually is super huge, and they tweeted this out not too long ago, and they said, to all Dragon's Dogma 2 players, we are planning to release patches, including the following updates and fixes in the near future, and we'll release them as soon as they are ready for distribution on each platform. Thank you for your patience and support. Now, the very first category is for everything that includes Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, and all that stuff, right? And it says they are adding the option to start a new game when your save data already exists. This is probably the biggest thing that everybody complains about, and for good reason. If you have somebody else that wants to play, you know, in your house or whatever, they'll have to use your character unless they like buy on their own Steam, right? Or if you just want to like have a different character or whatever, just because you can't really do that. Technically you can, but you have to turn off like the save cloud and go through the file explorer and all that stuff, and it's really annoying. But at least like this, it'll be like, you know, like we expected it to be, so thank God, right? And then also it says changing the number of art metamorphosis items available at the pawn guilds in the game to 99, which is massive because right now I think you can buy, depending on which pawn guild you go to, you could buy about like 2 or 3 give or take at a time, but now you can get 99. They're not like super difficult to get, by the way. If you guys don't know what this is what allows you to like change the way you look, right? It's like if you were going to like a barber shop, but it's like the whole thing, not just like for your face. You can change your like your height and all that stuff in here, right? And then we have making the quest that allows players to acquire their own dwelling, and it's where you can save and rest and stuff, and they'll make it available earlier in the game. Also, miscellaneous text display fixes and miscellaneous bug fixes. I haven't really seen anything weird with the text in the game, to be honest, but I've seen a couple bugs that are like really strange. Some of them are super hilarious, and I hope they don't actually fix those. But, you know, the bad ones, I obviously hope they do. Now, it says updates for Xbox and PlayStation. We have adding the option to switch motion blur on or off, adding the option to switch ray tracing on or off, which these are massive, by the way, because they do affect your FPS in the game. And then also adding the option to set frame rate to either variable or max 30 FPS in the options. This is huge, probably next to the save data. The reason why is because when you have it on console and you set it to variable, right, so that it can go above or below 30 if it wants to, or if it can at the moment, this is really annoying because sometimes your console will run it at like 38 FPS, 39, 42 or whatever, right? And then randomly, boom, it just tanks all the way down because it just can't hold that. So instead of using that power to reach above 30 FPS for those, you know, additional, let's say 6 to 12 FPS. Instead, what it'll do is you could just lock it at 30 flat, and then you have that power left over for you to remain at 30 without dipping to the 21s or 22s. So this is actually huge. In my opinion, like I said, this is like, in terms of bigness, it's right next to save data. It says these options will not affect the frame rate significantly. Frame rate improves our plan for future updates. Yes, this will not really affect your FPS too much. Like I said, about like anywhere between 6 to 12 at most, which it isn't a lot, but it is if you're looking at it between 20 FPS and 30 FPS, but it's not going to be some big jump where it's like 30 to 60. So technically this is correct. It's not going to affect it all that much, but at least you're going to have the game be able to sit at 30 FPS without much issues, which is humongous. Now, I don't know if it's going to solve the issue with you sitting in the middle of the town and your game completely, you know, screwing itself. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, but at least everywhere else it is, which is, you know, amazing. And then it says updates for Steam, improve quality of DLSS super resolution when it's enabled, which is nice, of course. Fixing the issue where models appear low quality under some specific settings. This one's actually kind of big because there's certain things like carpets and flags and blankets and like cloth things or whatever. They look a little bit weird sometimes depending on which one you're looking at, depending on what settings you have, which is actually a little bit weird. Also, some settings in like the high textures use less VRAM than settings in medium textures, which is also a little bit strange to me. So there's that. But anyway, this is coming out at some point soon, maybe like in a week, maybe even less, honestly. And then, if you didn't know, they also posted something on Steam, which is like relatively similar to what I just read, but it also says, this is specifically for Steam, for the PC players. It says, we are planning to release patches including the following updates and fixes in the near future, and we'll release them as soon as possible. And of course, you got the metamorphosis, the starting game and all that stuff, making sure the dwelling super resolution, and, you know, fixing the issues related to the display of models under some specific settings. This one is not in the other one, but I'm assuming it is like maybe the barrels. Sometimes the barrels are a little bit weird too, or like sometimes the what do you call it, like the plates and the cups that are like sitting on the table, which honestly you won't really notice because, like, I mean, why are you looking at it? But I guess if you're really trying to look for something, that's some of the things you'll notice. Like if it's like a bowl or something and it's supposed to be circular, round, or whatever, sometimes it's not. It's a little bit like weird. So I think they're probably talking about that, in my opinion. And then if you didn't know, they also posted not too long ago, somewhere down here, let me see, right here actually. So it says, regarding the frame rate, for those that don't know exactly what's making the game like run like crap when you're in the middle of the town. So it says a large number of CPU usages is allocated to each character and calculating the impact of their physical presence in various areas. This means you, the random NPCs that literally do nothing for you, they're just standing there, including those guys, the NPCs that do something for you. More of the story is anything and anyone you see in the game is being completely ran at all times, and their physical presence is always there no matter what, so therefore the CPU is always loading them. And this is in certain situations where numerous characters appear simultaneously, like in the middle of towns and stuff like that. The CPU usage can be very high and may affect the frame rate. We are aware of that situation. Settings that reduce GPU load may currently have a limited effect. However, we are looking into ways to improve performance in the future. This is massive because I feel like a lot of people are constantly talking about how, oh, they have a 4090 and the game doesn't run. And I'm with you with that one. Like, I understand that the 4090 should be able to run this game, but the issue is not the GPUs too much. The issues are the CPUs. And I would say the way that they made the game run on the CPU is the issue, because I feel like majority of CPUs should be fine with majority of games, which they are. Usually it's the GPU that's the problem. But in this game, the fact that every single character in the game is being loaded up into the CPU is pretty funny when you think about it, because it's the reason why a lot of players out there are talking about going out of their way to kill literally a lot of the NPCs in the town in order to like increase their frame rate, which, by the way, it does actually work. The issue with that though is that you need to be careful on who you end up killing, because if you do and you're not careful, you might accidentally get rid of a character that is part of like a quest line or something like that, and you may never know. But there's that. But again, they're trying to fix these things, which is awesome. I don't quite know exactly when this is coming out, unfortunately, but it does say soon, of course. So I would assume anywhere between, I don't know, maybe 10-15 days tops. But if I'm being honest, it's the beginning of the week, it's Monday. I think this will probably come out by the weekend, which is going to be amazing. But anyway, that's it for this. If you guys like the video, please like, please subscribe, and I will be posting more Dragon's Dogma 2 guides and news, and I will see you guys next time.